Hang tight. It's a great Tuesday afternoon here on Ticket Talk. We got Meredith Greer, former top seller StubHub employee on the show. It's a perfect advertisement for Brad Clements Law, who is helping StubHub victims get back their refunds as a buyer and obviously get their payments as a seller. So Brad Clements Law, visit his site, bradclementslaw.com. Reach out to me directly if you're owed money or you're owed a refund by StubHub, and we'll get you in touch with Brad Clements Law. But Meredith, it is great to have you on, my friend. How's your Tuesday going?
Tuesday is great. Had a great Memorial Day weekend. Enjoyed the day off, just hanging out with family and friends. It was great. So awesome. I'm excited to be ready to go on a Tuesday.
Awesome. And I've heard obviously great things about you. So why don't you give us your background at StubHub? Obviously, you were there for about a decade working out of the Utah office. So give us your background. And obviously, I know that you should be back in the reselling community working because you're just a great person in general. So we want to promote that too during this podcast. But give us your background at StubHub before we go into the questions.
Yeah, you bet. So originally, I started working with eBay. eBay is here in Draper, Utah. We had a beautiful campus, and I was there. I was top customer at eBay, which is like saying power seller if you guys use eBay. And they needed volunteers because eBay bought StubHub. They needed volunteers to help open up the call center for StubHub. And I said, I'm your girl. I'll try it out. Why not? So I did. And it was just supposed to be like this strange hybrid where you worked for StubHub for 6 months, eBay for 6 months. Well, that didn't work out. They needed full-time people. Sure. So they opened the call center. They asked for leadership, and I said, I'll do it. So I was the team lead for the first class, which was like 30 people. And my class was the most successful. We had the people that stayed the longest in that class. Then finally, when we broke away, kind of hard to explain, but we kind of completely severed, I applied to just StubHub, got on, and I started at the bottom, if you will. It was perfect for me. I knew I didn't want to be in leadership anymore with being a team lead. So the second I could get to top seller, I stayed. And I stayed there for, like you said, a decade, 16 years in all, including my eBay, including just doing the hybrid, doing the opening of the call center. But I loved top seller. It was the best of the best people. And plus I had to learn everything, every angle, whether it was billing, payments, events, you name it, I knew it. And I had credentials with UPS still when we used UPS. So I was able to make labels. People like, Mary, please help me make a label. I'm like, on it. I was
top sellers appreciate that for sure. So let's kind of like dive into it. Obviously, great background. We got to get you back in the reselling community.
I would love that. I would love that.
That's a president for Ticket Talk and producer Mike to get you back in the reselling community. But let's dive into Mr. Baker. He takes over around the pandemic, right? So he buys StubHub back around 2020. What was it like before Eric Baker took back over and after Eric Baker took back over StubHub?
I personally don't know Eric. He, at the time we were there, he made 2 appearances in 6 years.
Wow.
5 years of our history. And the first one was him in person saying, we're going to be stronger together. And I'm just like, who the heck is this guy? Get out of here. And then the second one was just a video kind of all hands. And I'm like, you can't even you live in freaking what, LA? That's like a super cheap flight. Just take Delta or something. Like, you don't need a private jet for this, pal. But it was just so off-putting, and it felt very him and his like cohorts were very like bro, like, yeah, dude, like, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I'm nearly 50, and this guy's only a few years older than me, and I'm like, who are you? And I know that he, like, I kind of know his background. He went to Stanford, made a business, and him and his partner had a falling out. I don't know all the details, but I personally don't like him for shutting down Salt Lake City, because I watched every one of my friends and myself lose jobs.
Terrible. So obviously he shut down Salt Lake City a couple of years ago, and those jobs probably 100% outsourced now, and obviously whatever was left went to Atlanta.
They're outsourced, or you're talking to Atlanta, and I hear that those guys are just dumber than a bag of hammers. I've dealt with them myself, and I'm like, I could show you how to do your job, but I'm not going there. I am not going there. This isn't my job. I mean, I sell, that. I sell on StubHub. And I mean, I just sell local stuff, like dumb, indie bands or whatever. But trying to deal with talking to someone is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And I feel so much sadness for top sellers having to like fight. You guys have to fight for what?
Right. Yeah.
For what? What are we fighting for? Like, there's a gentleman who talks about, I didn't get a ticket. Well, show proof you didn't get it. How the hell do you show proof you didn't get a ticket if you don't have a ticket? That doesn't make any sense. Like,
do you believe, I mean, obviously the last 6 months specifically, we've noticed top sellers getting screwed, getting accused falsely. We obviously on the StubHub Facebook forum, buyers every single day, thousands of people in that group have been not refunded, and obviously have the proper evidence. That's why we've already referred 130 clients between buyers and sellers to Brad Clements Law. Did you notice anything under Baker's leadership during your final years at StubHub where it's just like, you know what, let's not be so quick to get payments out, get refunds out to buyers? Did things kind of shift and change?
Absolutely. I personally, I think you and I spoke of this. Anytime I would refund a seller, or, if they were the buyer, in a case, maybe they're flipping tickets. I'm buying from this guy. I flipped him. I'm selling to that guy, I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. First, let's start with the original purchase. You didn't get them. Yeah. Got it. Well, based on this in our user agreement, you should have this, and we should have at the very least some sort of proof of transfer. I want to see it. And if that seller can't give it to me, game over. I'm giving you a refund. And so I would always copy and paste, take a snippet, and put it in my notes. I was very thorough with my notes, always. And I covered my ass every time. And
so I know you covered your ass and so forth.
Yeah, they wouldn't refund. They'd say, well, we need this, or well.
So they just made you go through hoops to get refunds for buyers and sellers, essentially. Or obviously at your end, sellers, top sellers.
Right, but they were also buyers as well. Like they were huge buyers, because they bought and they sold. A lot. I'm not dumb. I know that a lot of people use bots. They're watching. Right. Taylor Swift or Noah Khan or whatever, and they're looking for good deals. Yeah, that's not my fault. That's not anybody's fault. But yeah, why are we still hanging on to people's money? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It's terrible.
It was off. I didn't like it. It was yucky. It was, and I'm in Utah, it's no, I mean, come on. I was raised LDS. we try to be very ethical. I'd like to think I'm very ethical, and I couldn't abide. I couldn't. It was.
So for the record, Meredith, do we believe that under Eric Baker's leadership, obviously during your time and obviously presently, do you believe that he intentionally holds back payments and refunds for buyers and sellers to make his earnings look better on the New York Stock Exchange?
I personally feel that. I cannot prove this. I just personally feel like this was a way to inflate revenue, to show that, look at us, look at all this money we're hanging on to. And it's just like, you're using other people's money as like this weird collateral. I don't even know how to explain it, but that is what I feel. I feel like there was an order, a charge, or whatever given out that says, don't give refunds, don't give, anything, no payments, no nothing. And I couldn't do, courtesies anymore. I couldn't do anything.
Wow.
So
no courtesies, no anything. So under compare and contrast, under eBay, you can do courtesies when it was flat out obvious the seller was owed a payment or the buyer was owed a refund. Snap of a finger, done. Eric Baker here, hoops galore to process payments, to process refunds.
Correct. And it goes through multiple people. Wow. Multiple people. And it wasn't like I could read something in 5 seconds and just okay, yeah, done. And it would be processed immediately. I had permissions to do everything. And then slowly all those permissions were taken away. And I had to go through different departments. And I'm like, I know more than you. Mm-hmm. You've been here for 6 weeks. You don't know the ticket business. You have no idea if I use certain jargon, if I use certain vocabulary, you don't know what I'm saying. And they're just like, I don't. It was so defeating. It was so defeating. But I do feel that Eric and his panel, his group, they just wanted to inflate their numbers. That is what I feel. I can't prove it. That is just what I feel.
Very powerful, obviously, coming from you. Do any of your friends still work at StubHub, in the Atlanta office or around the country currently?
I have one friend he was the only person who was offered StubHub to go to Atlanta. I have given multiple sellers his information. He was helpful at first, and now he refuses to be helpful.
What about the long tenure Ray Clark? Did you have any relationships with him during your time at StubHub? He's obviously...
We were great. We were great friends. I have heard that he doesn't respond to people. I bet I could get him to respond to me, though.
That's great. That's great to hear. Obviously, Ray's in a tough situation. So
I can't believe he hasn't left. Something must be holding him. Something.
Maybe Mr. Baker offered him a nice stock package. I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of is that, and he's married, he has a kid now. He's thinking about the future. I get it. I'm not blind, but to sell your soul at the same time, nope.
No Meredith selling her soul to StubHub. So great stuff here. We obviously, this is a huge interview. How do we, why don't you give us your elevator pitch? There's no reason why you shouldn't be still working in ticketing, specifically in the resale space. There's so many companies out there. There's so many brokers. Meredith, why should somebody hire you? You're just a fantastic person, so much experience. You need to get back in our space.
I only want remote, right? But I'm very dutiful. I sit at my desk the entire time. You will always be able to reach me. I just think it's the weirdest market. And I also think that people think I'm really expensive or something. I don't know. What do you want to make? 110? Or I'm like, no, I'm not like that. I don't give a crap. Don't get me wrong. Money is great and everything, but I've been doing just fine for over a year on my own savings, on my own. I'm fine. I want to be there because I like helping people. I like service. Do the right thing, and it's going to come back every time. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of friends, I think, still in the business. And I'd love to get in. Part-time would be awesome. Full-time, give me a few on the full-time. But I don't know. I've had a few interviews with people. I don't get it. maybe I'm a terrible interview though. I don't know. And I think when I used to interview people for top seller, maybe this is hokey, but I just, if they had a good personality, I could teach them the rest. I could teach them the rest.
Absolutely.
And the people that I hired stayed.
Corey Gibbs says, Rockstar alert. Meredith was the GOAT at StubHub.
That's right, Corey.
Corey Gibbs in the house. Yeah. So, guys, we're going to elevate Meredith. Meredith, you're invited to come to our conference, TicketCon. And we have another comment. You're a popular person. Ms. Franklin from the StubHub Facebook group says, thank you, thank you. She says, do they purposely word it to be misleading? She just asked you, Meredith.
I can't say with surety. I can only tell you what I feel, and I would answer that yes. I can't say it was, I don't know. I just am going off of, this doesn't feel right. Something's off. It was off. Like when we would have our meetings every day, just the 20-minute huddle, it was like, this is changing. We now no longer do this, or this is that. And I'm like, what? What are we doing? Like, and no one would let you in. Like, and you would ask, like, well, can I get some sort of background on this, or some speaking points or talking points? Because this is going to affect a lot of people. Oh yeah, we'll get those out to you. It never came.
Never came.
It never came.
One last thing.
Yeah.
And you're invited to come out. We just have questions galore. Josh Ludwig says, Meredith is amazing. Always enjoyed working with her.
That's right, Josh.
We got to get Meredith back in reselling. What's your message to all current StubHub employees? Are they selling their soul to the devil? Are they really working for an organization that could harm their potential reputation?
I do not believe that, actually. I just think that the talent pool, unfortunately, in Atlanta is nowhere near the caliber that we had in Salt Lake City. And I'm not sure if a lot of you are like, Salt Lake City is awesome. We are all nice. We're kind. We're super smart. I mean, I don't know how to explain that to you, but like, we're actually computer savvy. We have so much tech here, and we understand things higher level, if that makes any sense. And just that he even went to Atlanta to save some money is like, well, why not just pay great people here so we can keep great people here? StubHub was awesome, and I'll fight anybody who says otherwise. We were awesome, and anyone who worked with me, you guys know I fixed your problems. I mean, even you, Scott, I wasn't your account manager, but when we talked, I fixed your problem. I fixed everyone's problems. I would go home late at night and I would sit there with lists of 2,200 sales, like this, and I would go in and I would fix everything. And there were some of my, unfortunately, some of my colleagues that were doo-doos, but most of us were good. Most of us are good,
including you, Meredith. And Meredith, on behalf of me and producer Mike, you're welcome. We're going to compliment you, be our special guest at TicketCon in New Orleans on July 26th. So we hope you can come. It's before the big conference, WTC. So come along. We'll obviously let you speak and share your story also. And let's get you hired. Let's get you back.
I just want to be friends. And I came to WTC out in Nashville, and I don't think people knew who I was, and that's fine with me.
Now they do.
I just had a great time hanging out by myself.
Awesome. There's Meredith Greer's LinkedIn profile. She is just awesome. Thank you so much, Meredith, for coming on. We will stay in touch. We hope to see you at TicketCon this summer on July 26th. We'll talk soon. Thanks again, Meredith. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you. I hope I can be there.